Hi pals, it's me, Artie, they them pronouns only. And I just thought I would do a little bit more of like a relaxed media related video this week. Honestly, it just came to mind yesterday. I just thought it would be a fun way where I could talk about other media that I maybe won't be making media analysis kinds of videos on, as well as just like general chat about what I've been watching, why I've been watching it and enjoying it. And I thought I'd throw in some games as well. I don't play many games. I don't really have the funding necessary to uphold a video game habit, as well as honestly the time. If I invested too much in video games, would I do anything else? Probably not. So there's a few video games that I've been watching and enjoying watching recently as well. Sorry, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. At the moment, I have quite a few shows on the go for different reasons with different people, etc. I have started my rewatch of Gilmore Girls, but it is one of the ones where I'm just trying to skip through everything that isn't related to Paris. Because that is the video that I'm kind of like working on the sidelines. It will take a while because there's quite a lot of episodes in Gilmore Girls, and that's also why I'm fast forwarding through, is to try and get some of that stuff done a little bit faster. But yeah, I have started that rewatch. I've started making my notes for that too. But also, like, it's always such a, even though it's a year-round TV show, it just kind of gives a lot more autumn energy for me. I think a lot of other people feel that way too. So it's just a nice show to be watching as we're creeping into autumn. But yeah, don't you worry, I am working on the Paris Geller is Autistic video, so that will come in the next few months, hopefully. A show I've been watching by myself recently is Cobra Kai. I feel so stupid saying this, to be honest. Yeah, basically these two shows I've been watching because my mum's partner has given us the access for his Netflix, so I'm not gonna say no to that when it's already being paid for by somebody else. I was watching Cobra Kai a few years back before I personally got rid of my Netflix membership, subscription, whatever. Yeah, I got rid of that subscription because they always cancel the good shows after like 1 or 2 seasons, and their promo of the kinds of shows that I want to see and watch kind of suck a lot. And also with all of their changes of like who is and isn't allowed to access the one Netflix account and where, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, so I'm behind on a lot of shows that I was watching. So I've been starting to catch up on Cobra Kai, which is okay. So some Artie lore that I'm not sure if I've mentioned at any point on this channel. I think I have, but I really fucking loved the Karate Kid films. Like I don't know what it is, but they give me this like visceral, deep like feeling watching them, and I really enjoyed watching Cobra Kai, which is basically the Karate Kid but 35 years later. And like, whilst it's very over the top, very ridiculous, I'm still enjoying it. I think there's something that I really like about seeing actors being brought back. They have brought back so many of the original cast of, I think, those first few Karate Kid films. Originally it centered Johnny Lawrence and Daniel Lawrusso, the main 2 characters of the first Karate Kid film. So obviously starred those 2, but also we've seen a couple of Johnny Lawrence's friends. We've seen the Cobra Kai like original senseis. One of them I don't remember. I do feel like I must have seen that film, but it's one that I don't think I've seen many times. They brought back the love interest and arch nemesis or whatever from when he went to Japan. They obviously brought back as well Alison, who was that her name? Ali from who was the first film's love interest as well. Yeah, it's just something I really enjoy. I don't know what it is. I really enjoy watching martial arts, sort of like action films and TV shows and animation. I definitely watched a lot of Jackie Chan films as well when I was younger. And like my main complaint, okay, I have two main complaints. One of them is the diversity is kind of shit. The main cast with the most lines, starring roles, are like basically all white people in a show about karate. And then the other part of diversity is that everybody seems to be straight, but also kind of not. Like, the show does that thing where all of the extremely side characters or like one-off characters or roles are like kind of queer and stuff, but none of the main cast are. However, the main cast are so gay. Like, they are so gay. The Karate Kid films have always been kind of gay. Like, you're telling me Johnny Lawrence and Daniel Lawrusso did not have a big fat gay crush on each other? I feel like that's a lie. I've also found that side of Tumblr. And I'm extremely happy. But yeah, like, even though the show has mentioned asexuality, some of the other side characters have been queer. Basically no one in the main cast is queer, but everything is super homoerotic. Like, there was literally a moment between two of the evil senseis where they were talking about like their biggest weaknesses, and one of them goes, "My biggest weakness is you." I was like, my guy, how is that not gay? What do you mean? And like, yeah, there's so many gay moments between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence that you know, in my mind, they're in like a polycule. Because like, I like them with their love interests in the TV show as well. Johnny Lawrence is dating God, the ADHD hits so hard when I have to remember people's names. Carmen, I think her name was Carmen. I love her, and I really like them together. And then Daniel LaRusso is with, I think her name's Amanda. And again, I like them together as well. She's definitely become more likable as well through the series versus the start. I wasn't super keen. But yeah, I just kind of like, you know, I think they're all just kind of a bit gay together, you know? There's something there. And I just love the drama and like all of the like keeping up with who is in what beef with who and why. Because sometimes it's just like, do they even know why they hate each other anymore? Because I don't think they do, and they're just like holding on to this angry energy, and I think that's just really funny. But yeah, so that's what I've been watching. I think on the last season they've got out so far, but I've not finished it yet. But really like it. I'm enjoying that. I have been watching The 12 as well with my mum and her partner. We tend to watch crime drama-y shows together. This one is set in Australia, although a lot of the cast sound very English. I genuinely didn't realise this was Australian for a while because everyone just sounded so English. Or is that just my brain basically associating Australian accents as like everyday accents now? But like, I'm still looking at it like, why do you all sound like so English? There's such a strange selection of people that I'm just like, 50% of you sound very English, and I'm very confused. But this one's basically a murder trial, mainly from the point of view of the jury, which is definitely a new kind of spin on things. So you kind of get to see the murder trial. You do also see the person who is up for same, what are words? I don't know. The person who is on trial, like a bit about her life. You see about the parents of the child who is supposedly murdered, but they never found a body. So really, they are trying to prove that this child was murdered. And I think you see a little bit of some of the like lawyers' lives too, but it's mainly centering around the jury and their own lives, and they're like talking in their little jury room. Yeah, and that's been an interesting watch. I have definitely been enjoying it and want to keep watching it. I think as well it's been nice to have a bit more of an Australian twist on things. I don't really tend to like watching American crime dramas very much. I'm not really sure specifically why. So I tend to watch only British crime dramas, but this Australian one called The 12 is there's a lot of similarities with what I like about British crime dramas, but with more of like obviously a cultural Australian thing. Like there is a kid on the jury who is Aboriginal, so there's definitely some aspects of that being brought into the show, and also kind of just showing that the jury are also just normal people as well, and are not necessarily morally better than anybody else. I finally decided to actually watch Scream films. Unfortunately, I only got to a certain point because they aren't all on Sky. So I've watched the first few. I've got like one from the last few years downloaded, but I need to watch the rest of them somewhere else because I just want to watch them in order, you know? I know there's like lore to it, which is what made it appeal more to me as well. But also like when I was a teenager, Scary Movie was like a film series I really enjoyed watching with my friends, so it's quite nice to actually see what inspired the parody of a film series that's also kind of a parody of horror films. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there because obviously I've not finished them because I need to find the others. I need to work out how many are left that I haven't seen and haven't got downloaded. The final show that I have been watching recently is Nashville. Yeah, my tastes are all over the place. I'm watching this with my mum. We've been watching it for a while. There's like 6 seasons. I think we are early into season 5. Unfortunately, like every time we try to watch this fucking show, there's like an episode missing almost every season, or like when we first started watching it quite a few months back, maybe even a year ago, suddenly just they were all gone from Sky, so we couldn't watch it anymore. So I'd actually found it online to watch, so but when I brought this up to my mum, it was then back on Sky, so we started again, or not again, but like we started where we left off. And honestly, like, again, I feel like the main complaints I have with these shows is just like diversity really sucks. Like 99% of the main cast or all cast is white, and same for that of everyone is straight and cis. And when they do have characters who are people of colour, black, gay, they've not had a trans person yet, but when they do have a more diverse character on screen, they're not treated very well. They're definitely used in a very typical white cishet plot device way. Like once they get bored of the character, they kind of just destroy the character. Rather than giving a reasonable way out, they just destroy the character and then send them off. I'm really going to struggle with everyone's names, so I'll try to like put photos instead. But they introduced an Asian lawyer. She was great. I really loved her. I really liked her character. I thought she was a great match with the person she was the love interest of, but of course that's the main thing, is that all of these characters are either the love interest of or a learning device for white characters. Yeah, I really liked her. But they completely destroyed her by making her fall in love, or like, I don't know. Basically, she cheated on the person that she was actually with, and then that was it for her character. She was kind of done and gone. There was another character of colour at the time. It was a black woman who was supposedly like a long-term friend of one of the other main characters, but it took a while for her to get to the show, and she was fine for a while, a little bit like boring, but then she became so excessively jealous. It's like, to me, it's like the writing team changed, and because they kind of run all the plot points out with her, they were like, right, how do we do that? How do we liven this up a bit and then get rid of her? So she became a really unbearable character for quite a while before she then was also given an exit from the season. There is one gay dude who is a white cis guy, you know, typically fit, attractive. I remember his name because he's been in it for the longest. Will Lexington. There are some aspects of his story that have been really nice, especially during this point in time where a lot of America are doing some things. There's been some good parts where, like, it was awful. He was in the closet for a good while. Then he did come out of the closet and everything went to shit. But then everything started picking up again for him, and people were actually on his side and defending him until he was honestly ready to start doing some of that himself. They had a little protest outside of basically a Fox News equivalent that had an extremely right-wing, bigoted woman ranting and raving like hateful things, and was targeting this musician in particular for forcing his gay agenda on everybody, you know. Bit too real. So those are things I really liked about that, but it has taken a long time to even get there, and it was kind of also used as like a plot device and like a growing opportunity for other characters who didn't necessarily handle things that well with him earlier on, and other things generally. He was very resistant to the idea of marketing himself as gay as well, even though it probably would have given him a successful career, because there's a gap in the market, my dude. But yeah, he was very resistant to that and just wanted to be marketed as a country singer who just so happens to be gay. So yeah, that kind of sucked. There was also a black man who used to be like a very popular blues singer who was homeless and a little bit of an alcoholic here and there. It wasn't super clear on whether he was an alcoholic or not. He was basically a plot device for one of the white main characters as well, where she was helping him to get back on his feet and help him develop a career again. But he was like, well, I see you, I see that you're doing all this for me, but you're actually doing this because you're trying to hide from your own problems, your own like fears of performing and whatever, because of your bad experiences as well. I don't even know what happened to him. I don't remember what happened to this man. He was doing great, and then he was like, no, I'm done, and started drinking. And I don't remember if they kind of really properly resolved and then continued and he built his career again and went off and lived happily ever after. I don't remember. I don't feel like it was a very big plot point or device for him, and it was kind of solely around what he could do for that white character. There was also another Asian woman who was a singer as well. She was in there for a very short amount of time. She was also homeless, had a sister she was trying to take care of. They were from the foster care system. She got in a bit of trouble, and then suddenly she disappeared one day and she became a missing person. And that was the entire plot. And that was all, again, part of a larger plot where some of the actions she made affected these other people, which ignited more conflict between them. And we saw one of the main characters, Raina, really trying to follow this up and basically realising that there's no hope for a lot of these kinds of cases, even though supposedly the police or whoever who are investigating them never give up. It's just that there's a million other cases exactly like that open at the same time, and usually they will end in the same way. So we have not seen her again. The most recent characters are, so one of the other main characters, which is Juliet Barnes, who I love, by the way. She is a terrible person, but I love her. I feel like she's one of the more realistic characters and people, to be honest, and I really enjoy her love story with Avery. But she got into a plane crash. She was the sole survivor of a private jet crashing, and a local black woman who is a singer at one of the churches nearby was like the person who saw this happen, rang emergency services and sang to Juliet to try and keep her calm, but also keep her awake, to keep her alive. So Juliet goes to find this woman, finds the church, which is a pretty much entirely black church where they sing a lot of gospel music. Juliet keeps going to this church, and she decides she wants to do a gospel album. Juliet is white, and that is like the one tiny good thing there was that there was actually a conversation about that, but everyone did go, yeah, okay, we'll still do it. We'll still do your gospel album. But also during that little period, Juliet was disabled by this crash, or at least for a while. I don't know if she is going to fully recover or not, but there is a lot of heavy ableism during this period from her in particular. Whilst it's hard to watch, it is still quite realistic and believable, and it bothers me. Yeah, so again, a whole church of black people are basically Juliet's plot point now of, hey, I'm getting into church, I'm getting into Christianity, religion, I'm getting into black music, and I'm going to make a gospel album, come sing on it with me. There was also another black character, but in like a different plot line, with Raina's oldest daughter, who is absolutely unbearable. She's absolutely unbearable. I cannot stand her. His name is Clay. He's been busking on the streets. I think he's also probably one of the first like dark-skinned black characters on the show as well, that has like more of a role. And it sucks because I really like his character. I like his personality. I like that it's probably going to be delving into issues related to race, but also issues related to mental illness and being a black person in America, because this character is bipolar and he is struggling whether he can or wants to be medicated, because the medication dampers his creativity, and he's a musician as well. He is 24, although to be fair, he doesn't really look 24, he looks quite young. And he is dating Maddie, or starts dating Maddie, who is 17. And I feel like a lot of that has been addressed quite nicely by Maddie's parents. They have been like, look, we don't give a shit if he's a black guy. We give a shit that he's 24 and you are 17. If he was your age, fine, cool, whatever. But yeah, it sucks, because yeah, I really like his character. I like the kind of music scene he's introducing to the show as well as I just think he's just a nice little guy. I'm just annoyed that his plot is now going to be, oh, he's the adult dating a child. And like, he even had this argument with Maddie that she's a child and he's not a child, and he's probably going to get in trouble and be arrested for this, regardless of however many white adult men who do this and don't get arrested. So yeah, it's really annoying and conflicting, because I think a lot of the themes and plot points that he'll be bringing are good, important, and relevant, But, you know, it's just this whole thing of this show can't let a black character exist just to exist, and that he's probably going to get into a lot of shit, and it's probably going to involve a lot of traumatic stuff going on that is explicitly and specifically related to race and anti-blackness. You know, he's not allowed as a black character in mainstream American TV to just have the same problems as everybody else for a little bit, you know? I don't know if I articulated that as well as I wanted to, but hopefully it comes across what I mean. But that's pretty much it for the shows I've been watching. I'll quickly just cover the video games. I've been watching as many Let's Plays as I can from people I enjoy watching those things from, which is not many. It's really annoying. Stray Gods is one that I saw Julian Solomita play, and oh my god, his playthrough is so aggravating. I really hope more people that I enjoy watching play video games will play it so that I can see different choices, because this one's sort of like a choice-based story game. It features a lot of the voice actors from the Last of Us games, and also just generally quite well-known voice actors in the game industry. I kind of wanted to make a video about it, but yeah, I can't if I can't play it, and I can't if I can't watch more people playing it. So far, my thoughts have just been I really like the art style. It's a really, really nice graphic novel kind of art style, and it's not fully animated, it's more like a comic. And I think the plot is really interesting. And the premise in general, it's a musical, choose your own story or choose your own path story-based game about the Greek gods that exist on Earth. And like, yeah, when I was watching the one playthrough I've seen so far, I enjoyed it quite a lot. I think it's interesting, can go in so many different ways. It's also kind of like a little bit of a dating sim too. But like, I do have like a small thing that has like, okay, there's two small things that really bothered me about watching this game and would probably bother me when or if I play it. The sound mixing was bad. It's like, that is my main complaint about so many TV shows, is the extreme changes in how loud things are. But the game, it was like certain characters were really loud and certain characters were really quiet. And then also when they would go into song, that would be super loud. So I don't know who did the sound mixing, but it's not good. And then my other point that I'm being picky about is some of the singing. Unfortunately, as someone who has done musical theatre and did musical theatre training and singing and vocal training for quite a lot of time, there were a few points where a bunch of people were singing at the same time and they all had vibrato, and it was just way too much to like take in. And if you don't know what vibrato is, it's basically where when you are singing a note, but it kind of goes up and down. And like, vibrato usually is kind of reserved for solos and like big main characters. So having, I think, 5 characters singing at once and most of them had vibrato, it was bad. In my opinion, that was bad, and they really should have not done that. I really just feel like it was just too much, too overstimulating, and also just didn't sound very good, because it didn't sound like a group effort. It's like, again, the vibrato is usually for like a main solo character. When 5 people are doing this at the same time, it gives I'm the star and I'm trying to outshine everybody else here, rather than we are 5 people singing a song together and we're working together on this song to make this song sound as good as possible and as understandable as possible, especially when it's a story-based game where a lot of the story is in song. Yeah, it just made it so much harder to enjoy for me. And the other game I've been watching is Baldur's Gate 3. I actually played one of the older Baldur's Gate games. I imagine it was probably the first one because it was quite a long time ago when I first played that. I was very young. But I've been really enjoying watching people playing it, but not many people are. Again, I enjoy watching play games, have been playing this game. So I'm basically like relying on Ashley Roberto. Oh my god, why is that so difficult to say? Ashley Roberto on Twitch, playing that with Luxy Games or something. There's like a few other people who have been playing it as well, who I have watched a few bits from, like I think Daydreamer Dan and what was their name? I can't remember, but I think. And then Laurel did a few streams where they were playing it, but they then went on a break and then haven't played it again on stream since. I like watching it because again, there are so many variables in who your character is, who you choose to companion with, if you're playing with other people as well, and it's I want to play it. I want to play it. And like I have some thoughts around it as well that are like in progress. Again, I can't really fully do anything with that until I see more playthroughs or play through myself, where I'm kind of envisioning like a video where I talk about the ways that they have displayed disability in different ways, because there's definitely a few things that I see in some of the companions that I'm like, that can translate to disability in my mind. So that's something I'd like to talk about, but I can't because everyone chooses the same fucking people. I love Karlach. I do. I love her so much, but I need some playthroughs where it's not Karlach and Asterion, please. Please. And that's, I was watching Laurel play because she had Will and Shadowheart, which I haven't seen many people playing with so far. And then the other 2 people, I can't remember who they were playing with either. But also I think Ashley Roberto and Luxy did have a short period of time when they were companions with Lae'zel. Is that it? Lae'zel? I can't remember. Yeah, there's just not been enough variation for me to see enough of like these other characters or any of that to actually create a video idea and write up a video script or format. But that's my casual talking about what I've been watching recently. Let me know what you think of this format, because I think it'd be a nice way to kind of make a more low pressure, low key video, still talking about media stuff and still talking about other media that I maybe wouldn't delve more into for its own individual video. I think it's a way that could continue to spark other kinds of conversations as well, and talking about different kinds of media. I would like to get into sort of like game analysis as well. I have got some thoughts of a few different games I would like to discuss, but again, they're just much bigger videos that take a lot more time to like. I need to watch I need to watch at least one playthrough, write up all my comments and thoughts, and then try to make it into something that makes sense. Yeah, so they just take more time. A friend of mine did also mention to me recently that there was a Golden Girls like double episode on, I think, chronic fatigue syndrome / ME. So I'm interested in going to find those and watch those, and maybe I'll talk about those on their own at some point as well, because I do have that one House MD episode that I'd like to discuss as well, because they talked about my rare disease techiasos. It was a shit show though, so that'll be such a great fun video to film. Yeah, I just feel like this one could be like more of a chill, chatty, catch up kind of energy. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments, give me recommendations in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share my videos. All of that really helps with algorithm stuff. We reached another mini goal, I think like yesterday when I'm filming this. We are now at 850 subscribers, so we are so close. We are so close to like the 1K mark. I also really appreciate generally the views that some of my videos have been getting recently. That I don't know, I wasn't expecting my pacing video to reach nearly 100 views in a week. And also my ADHD medication video did a lot better than I thought too. So yeah, like once we reach that 1K of subscribers, it will be kind of main focus is the watch time. So if you either have spare time or if you are often just on your computer doing other stuff, please consider either watching my videos in the background or just like letting them play, because yeah, the watch time is really helpful for being able to qualify for YouTube partner, just to be transparent, you know. But you know, even though I'm still working towards that as a goal, I'm honestly I'm gonna be so British here. I'm so chuffed. I'm so chuffed at the attention and interactions a lot of my videos have been getting this year, pretty much. I've been doing this for so long, on and off. I have been on the internet for pretty much most of my whole adult life, but also most of my teenage life as well. And I have been making videos on and off since I was like 13 maybe. I've had 3 YouTube channels and this one I think has been up for the last decade, if not more. And yeah, it feels really nice and validating to see that other people like to hear what I have to say, whether it's serious stuff about like chronic illness, medical shit, medication, etc., or if it's more of the fun side of things, which can also get very serious because I'm talking disability and diversity stuff anyway when it comes to media, like TV shows, etc. Yeah, it's been very cool, and I do very much appreciate the attention those videos, all of my videos have been getting. And I actually am really surprised, but in a good way as well, at the comments that I get. It's really rare for me to get shitty comments now, and they are so little and often that they're just kind of funny. Like the other day, someone told me to get on the treadmill. No. I won't actually. I used to get so much visceral hate on my videos for years. And obviously there's been really bad patches in the last year when it comes to posting YouTube shorts. Don't know what is up with the algorithm for that, but it always ends up with the wrong audience way too quickly, who just like to be disgusting in those comments. But my main channel videos, like my main videos, don't really get the same kind of shit. And like I said, if they do, it's usually like one person, and it's just kind of just hilarious. Sounds like you're projecting. And yeah, I saw this memory on my Facebook of like, I can't remember how many years ago that was, maybe 8 years, 2015, where someone left this horrible comment on one of my videos saying that my videos suck, I suck, that's why I only get like 5 views per video. And now I get like 50 to 100 views per video at least. But then I get a few bops that get over 100. And then I had that one, you know, America's Next Top Model video that got to nearly 3,000 views. So wonder what they would think now. Probably nothing different, but that's fine. They are not for me. Yeah, that was a rambly end to the video. But yeah, let me know what you think of this. because if it's something people like, I'll do this more as well, or like at least regularly, like every few months maybe. But I will see you next week with what the fuck ever video I'm posting next week. I don't know at the moment. Bye. Oh, why is it always so warm? I can't really see with my eyes. Is it the moisturizer or just crying?